You're listening to the PRO Media Network, the next level in entertainment.
Get ready, New Orleans. It's time for the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, telling you everything you need to know about the Saints, Pelicans, and a whole lot more.
Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. And we have intense, entertaining, and educating sport talk from your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q, and via Skype, we got DC joining us. How you doing tonight, my man?
Oh, I'm good, man.
Good. This is December the 5th, 2017, podcast 116. So big ups to the crew and to the fans as we press on through what looks like a very interesting season for New Orleans. So in this episode of podcast 116, we'll be covering the Saints 31-21 win over the Carolina Panthers, the second win of the season. They have officially swept the Carolina Panthers. And we'll have the stats, facts, breakdowns, and interviews from Coach Sean Payton, quarterback Brees Cam Jordan, and we'll see if we could throw some Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara into that mix as well. Also, we'll have injury report brought to you by DC, his injury report, and we'll cover a few topics on the show.
My injury report is the Saints injury report.
We'll have studs and duds.
I'm healthy.
Transactions. We'll cover a few transactions with Devontae Harris, who was released earlier, that we actually prefaced and said that Devontae Harris should not be on the active team, that he should be on the practice squad. And the Saints did just that. They elevated one Arthur Millette, who we said they should do, and then they just got rid of Devontae. But we'll cover that in the show as well.
And Devontae Harris, he can't even play on special teams, man.
No, he can't. He's so bad he can't play on special teams.
He can't tackle.
Our quarterback, a third-string quarterback by the name of Taysom Hill can. So we'll give you a little information.
Troy Aikman said was faster than Michael Vick. I bust out laughing when I heard that.
Troy Aikman must have too many concussions or something. But Taysom Hill's an interesting character.
Was that fast coming out of the combine.
And we'll cover Taysom Hill, give him a little love here on the show as well. And then we'll preview the Saints versus Falcons on the Thursday night primetime matchup. Saints and Falcons on the short week. We'll get ready for that as they go to Atlanta, that beautiful new Atlanta stadium out there, and take on those Falcons. So we'll cover that. And then toward the back end of the podcast, we'll give you some LSU news as the Tigers are eating oranges. We'll break that down as well.
The stadium that they decided to blow up the old stadium in front of during the season, that was really intelligent, right?
Blew up the stadium. They needed the parking lot, I imagine.
During the season, though, man. Wouldn't you do that before the season? Why would they wait till the season started to do that?
I don't know. Atlanta got their own method to their madness, but let's
Paul in. Smoke damage to their lungs now.
Let's Paul in. We'll get right into it and face some of the stuff that's going on. First of all, the Saints, they're now 9-3, 5-1 at home. Big ups to the New Orleans Saints playing really good football. We covered the game, the last game against the Los Angeles Rams, and we said that they should have won that game as well, but they make up for it with a good win over a quality opponent in the Carolina Panthers, who were right on their heels, just a game behind them. In this game, you can see a few interesting tidbits about the Saints running game, that they had 148 yards of rushing offense, 28 carries for 148 offense, and 3 touchdowns running the ball. Brees, a little numbers here, he finished 25 of 34 for 269 yards, averaging 8 yards a throw. And then he had 1 touchdown as well in the game, 106.1 QB rating, so excellent day. Then the receivers all around, they played well too. 269 yards Like I said, through there from Drew Brees, the bulk of that went to Alvin Kamara, who caught 5 for 66, and Mike Thomas got involved, 5 catches for 70 yards and 1 touchdown as well. And Mark Ingram had 6 catches for 37 yards. So very interesting on the way anyway. If you take a look at what Mark Ingram did with his 6 catches, very interesting. But let's get right into the meat and potatoes of it. That's a few statistics on the game. What is your sights, DC? Talk to me about this win.
I want to correct you on a statement you made. You said you wanted to give a few tidbits about the Saints running game.
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Man, that ain't no tidbits, man. That was a whole steak, man. They had a whole steak out there in that running game, man. Ain't no tidbits.
148 yards worth. Not bad.
Man, 260-something yards all purpose, right?
Yes.
Sound a lot more than a few tidbits, Q.
Way I'm looking at it is a few little stats and facts on the game. Like I like to call it, my favorite. Since we can't have the tidbits, we'll have some giblets.
Oh, we got giblets now.
With the win, New Orleans moved to 9-3, clinching its first winning season.
I'm gonna treat you to some food before we start the show, man. They QB hungry.
Since the 2013 campaign. Sunday's win also put the Saints in sole possession of first place in the NFC South. Now, this is the first winning season since 2013. And they clinch it with that 9-3 with this victory to go 9-3. They take on Atlanta this Thursday, like I said, in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, set for 7:25 Central Time. It'll be aired on Channel 6. The Saints win improved their record to 22-24 against the Panthers, giving the Saints the first series sweep against the Panthers since 2011. So if for everybody want to know when the last time the Panthers were swept by the Saints, it was back in 2011. And their first winning streak against the division rivals since a 4-game winning streak comprised of sweeping the 2010 and 2011 season series. The win also even coaches Payton record against the Panthers at 11-11, so he always have a difficulty there, so that's always good to stick them with one. Sunday's win also improved the Saints record at the Superdome in 2017 to 5-1, which gives the Saints a winning record at home for the first time since 2013 when they went 8-0. And it also gave them a 5-game home winning streak, tied for the 4th longest home winning streak in team history. So just a few more little bits right here before we quit and let DC chime in. With the win, New Orleans improved its all-time record at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in the regular season to 164-161. And the Saints currently have a streak of 252 games without having been shut out, dating back to 2016 win at Tampa Bay on September the 6th, 2002 at Raymond James Stadium. That's the longest streak in the football in the entire NFL. So a few interesting milestones also from Drew Brees, who appeared in his 186th career contest, moving him in a tie with Stan Brock for fourth on the team's record books for the Saints. He completed 24 of 34 for 73% for 269, 106 passer rating. He surpassed Peyton Manning and moved into second place all time with his completion, 6,127. Big ups to Drew Brees with that major milestone. Cam Jordan also gave an interesting one. Played in his 108th consecutive game. He started his 93rd consecutive game, giving him the longest consecutive games played streak among NFL defensive ends. He finished with 6 tackles, 5 of which were solo. So that's a few of them. I can't give you all of them, but interesting facts and a couple of facts and breakdowns. DC, before we get back into the numbers of this thing, and what we seen from the Saints and what they did, what they were able to do pretty much to the Carolina Panthers, running the football and ultimately stopping 400 total yards by the Saints against 279 yards.
We do that every week.
You know, they even had the time of possession. They only had 1 turnover. Of course, that was Josh over the hill. He had a play where the ball was punched out by a safety from the Carolina Panthers. They 1 turnover. Right. But if you look at the things that the Saints did from a perspective of shutting I ain't gonna say they shut the Carolina Panthers down. They did hold Jonathan Stewart, who ultimately got hurt. He carried the ball 11 times for 45 yards. He got hurt. But, when it all came down to it, Cam Jordan made the bulk of the plays. He had a 32-yard scramble that added to their mixture. But to make it all said and done, they held him under 200 yards passing. And they ultimately did stop Carolina from actually being totally effective. And they also were able to play some pretty stiff defense as well. So what is your take on the Saints overall? I know we talked about this in some length before, but what is your thinking about them moving forward with this level of play? Can we sustain this level of play deep into the playoffs?
I think we can play better. Looking at the game we played against the Panthers now, the score doesn't indicate the dominance that the Saints put on the Panthers, but as you can see, the score does indicate a few miscues and things that could have been cleaned up or changed, and the score probably would have looked even more different, if that's even a word. Josh Hill's fumble was something that could have been eliminated, as well as a few splash plays and penalties and stuff like that we had. So they actually didn't play their best game, but the one area that's usually an A+ every week would be the running game, with Ingram really only bust one big run, and he didn't do much after that, but it was enough. And Alvin Kamara is just playing phenomenal, and the tandem together is like offense can do no wrong. So the offense kind of carried that game, along with, like you said, Cam Jordan. He's a wrecking ball. Wow, all in his own, man. And another guy that's not getting a lot of attention, and Cam Jordan actually brought it up, was Sheldon Rankins. And I went back and watched some plays during the game. I remember Cam Newton ran a 30-yard run, and guess who tackled him? Sheldon Rankins. I thought that was very, wow, mind-blowing, man. A defensive tackle came 30 yards down the field to tackle Cam Newton. That definitely deserves some praise. So the defense actually is still improving and growing, and getting some people back healthy and other people fighting off injuries. So I still think their best football is ahead of them, man, and they're going to continue to improve by week and not go backwards.
Absolutely. Before we get back to giving some more in-depth analysis on it, we're going to play Sean Payton, a portion of his interview before the commercial break. Here's Coach Payton on the win over Carolina.
Real quick, I thought it was obviously a significant win. I felt like there were points in that game where we got to be smarter. And look, that sequence where we turn the ball over and we've got possession with momentum, all of those things, and kind of get them right back in the game before the half, even towards the finish there. But we'll learn from the tape. I thought overall all three phases played well. I thought we had some big plays from the kicking game that were significant. Defensively, we did a real good job. Third down, especially after that first series. And offensively, I thought we did a better job on third down in the second half than the first. But we ran the ball well again against, I think, a real good run front and a good team. So, any questions? Just a gut. I mean, I think we did that a few years ago against them. It's just the time where we were in the game, and felt like we had a good play as well. So a lot of times, I felt confident in the play we had. Well, it's evident. You always have one good, look, we have a handful of guys like that. You're trying to get a matchup sometimes at the end of the game and third down there. What I did not want is an incomplete with the clock still moving.
That's Coach Sean Payton. We're going to finish up on the rest of his interview on the other side of the break. We're going to do our studs and duds, give our transaction reports, also talk about the injuries and everything else on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. We'll be back. What's up, sports world? This Big Q from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Talking to you about the website, theposhlifestyle.com. That's right, poshlifestyle.com. A great website where you can get great products at great prices. They sell organic herbs, vitamins, supplements, water filters for your home, EMF and cell phone radiation protection, healing magnetics and healing crystals, personal protection devices like cell phones, stun guns, and mace sprays, organic deodorants, shampoos, soaps, toothpaste, and more. They also sell 10A grade Brazilian hair. 10A music is available now. All kind of the latest downloadable mixtapes. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to the poshlifestyle.com. That's the Posh Lifestyle, life spelled with a Y, LYFE style.com. Put in the Sports Coma for the 10% discount on your purchase. It's a win-win. So get your mind and body right with the Posh Lifestyle.
Get all the latest news and updates from your New Orleans Pelicans at the Pelicans Eye View, the new and official Pelicans Daily Journal, covering everything Pelicans.
Attention, everyone.
Get breakdown on games, free agent signings, and potential moves. Unbiased opinions and straight up facts with statistical analysis from G Balance. Go to www.thesportsdaily.com/Pelicans-I-View.
Wow, what a huge honor it is to be named NBA 2K18 Legend Edition cover athlete. I really wouldn't be here without the guidance, love, and support of my mom and dad. Also, I'd like to thank my coaches, both college and professional. But most of all, I'd like to thank Kobe Bryant. He was the NBA 2K Legend cover athlete first. He's so awesome and handsome and has really nice natural teeth. Wait, what? I'll be looking at his teeth. This ain't over, Kobe. Payback's gonna be fun.
Let me tell you about a news site that carries the news that you would want to know. News that's not the same as the rest of lamestream media, but a site that lets you know about the most important news on health, economics, tech, entertainment, science, food, sports, world news, positive living, paradigm shift, and a lot more. Go to theposhreportonline.co. That's right, theposhreportonline.co. Learn more. And remember, challenge everything.
Follow the Sports Coma on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Welcome back to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. We covering the Saints' big win over the Carolina Panthers, 31-21. Just got you playing. Coach Payton will finish up on some of his interview before we slide into Drew Brees. We also got Cam Jordan chiming in, and I think we got something by Alvin Kamara. Speaking of Alvin Kamara, he finished the game with 9 carries for 60 yards, had a career-high 2 rushing touchdowns, and the third time he scored 2 touchdowns in the contest in the second straight week. He also recorded 5 catches for 66 yards for a game-high 126 total yards from scrimmage. He even had 11. Kamara has 11 touchdowns, making him only the second, that is number 2, Saints rookie with 10 touchdowns behind George Rogers, who had 13 in 1981. With 606 rushing yards and 614 receiving yards, Alvin Kamara now joins former Washington wide receiver Charlie Taylor and former Detroit Lions running back Bobby Sims as the only third rookie. He's the only third rookie in NFL history with 600 yards rushing and 600 yards receiving. With a 2-yard touchdown run, he became the 4th Saint to score a touchdown in 6 consecutive contests, joining Dalton Hilliard and Thomas. I don't know who Thomas is. And Jimmy Graham. They the 3 guys that did it. So he's getting some pretty decent players who he joined in. So
I thought Deuce McAllister would have been on that list. But
yeah, I thought so too. But this guy doing stuff Deuce McAllister can only dream about doing. Looking at going back into
that was cold, bro.
Well, hey man, you got good players, solid players, and they're just some guys on other level. Don't get me wrong, McAllister was a hell of a player in his time, but Kamara is a different. He was
on the brink of being great if he wouldn't have got hurt.
Yeah, so Elvin Kamara is one of those guys that we got to put way up there, and he's trending very high. Let's get back to Coach Sean Payton for a little bit, then we'll slide to Drew Brees and hit you with a few of our topics.
With the
Coach
clock
Payton.
still moving. So one of those outside receiver screens, I think, gave us a chance at that, and then possibly if they were in man, which they were, it was 2-man, then we had a linebacker, Luke, who was removed. Anyway, that's kind of what went into that thought. But by series, there's Mike Thomas, Mark Ingram. A lot of it depends on where we're at situationally, but down in there close, though, that was a play that we felt like all of us felt pretty good about. Thought it was outstanding. My only concern was when we sent specialists out for pregame, he stayed in with the quarterbacks, and I told him, listen, you're a specialist right now. But he did a great job. We had a couple spots for our game day roster because of a few injuries. He's big, he's strong, he can run. He had a good week of practice. And look, you just don't want to be lining up next to him on kick coverage because you're going to look slow if you don't get going. And I thought it was a credit to his effort. He made a few big plays. I'm sure when we watch the tape, we'll see it. This week, we're looking at the active, inactive portion of the roster, and then pretty soon you get over to that list and say, all right, who can help us in the kicking game? And he was the one guy that we felt like ran. He had size, and once that we started working him there on Wednesday, it really jumped out. So he did punt. Did a few of the units, and I think he did well.
That's Coach Sean Payton chiming in on some of the game players. The last one, of course, he's speaking about Taysom Hill, who's a third-string quarterback that the Saints picked up off the waiver wire playing special teams. He says very quick, he's fast, and also Coach Payton talking about a lot of the inactives versus actives, what they can do, and it's showing that he's picking some of these guys, showing that they have good depth. And this is in a couple of the teams. The Saints are pretty deep, especially on the defensive line, linebacker-wise. They're pretty deep at those positions, and they're absorbing some of those injuries pretty well. Alex Okafor is a guy a lot of people talk about as a major loss, but Sheldon Rankin stepping up. Kakaha stepping in there. You got Big John Hughes stepping in there. You got a few guys, David Onyemata, Tyler Davison, DC's older brother. So, you got different players stepping up and fulfilling their role. So, like I said, but so let's look at it like this. DC, what is your comment on what you think about Coach Payton's I got to give Coach Payton credit. I was basically body slamming
all summer, man.
But that's because he deserved it. Hey, we don't slam nobody that don't deserve it.
I want to give Coach Payton credit for one thing. I really didn't see the vision once they got rid of AP because I really thought Mark Ingram would get hurt. I understand he got a little nagging toe injury, but actually looking back, I think that was a wise decision by Payton. And I know I was on him about that. I know he had a lot to do with it from the way AP was grilling him down on that Monday night game. And a lot of other things he's done this season, man, has been on point. He still gets too cute with his play calling at times, but it's been second to none, in my opinion.
Coach Payton is right now. He can't do no wrong. As before, people critiquing kind of.
Oh, he still do wrong. We still call him out when he do wrong.
We call him out, but I'm saying that we don't slam nobody unless they deserve to be slammed. Year, so
he's
that's
making
just
very minimal mistakes this year.
Exactly.
He's on a Bill Belichick level for his coaching right now.
Right now.
Moment.
So let's see if he can sustain such success. With let's listen to the man with the plan, the quarterback, Drew Brees, and what his thoughts are after the Carolina win.
Listen, it's big. We have an extremely tough division. We got three teams that are all vying for that top spot and certainly a playoff opportunity. But no more important game than the next game. And we coming back from LA last week, we knew last 4 out of 5 for us were all divisional games. I mean, so this is where our best football needs to be played. Our best preparation, to achieve the goals that we set out to accomplish at the beginning of the year. And it's all in front of us. I think the mindset is still to continue to strive to get better and strive to play that perfect game. I don't think we've done that yet. I thought today was very complimentary in a lot of ways. Special teams comes up with a big play, big turnover, really I guess 2. Defensively playing extremely well. Offensively, good balance, some big plays in the run game and the pass game and, scoring points. So we just have to continue going in that right direction. That's a formula to win a lot of games. But the games only get tougher. They only get more important, especially as you go down the stretch here.
I think against Buffalo, you guys looked well on the first quarter.
Yep.
They forcing goals on the first drive.
Yep.
What
Yep.
is the message that goes into a call like that?
Well, we're being aggressive. We came here to win. We came here to put guys in positions to be able to make plays to help us win the game. And obviously those are big momentum changers too, when you're able to get it in there, but also the message it sends to the team that, we're going to be aggressive.
There's a similar play call that was on 2-point conversion against Washington, kind of sweep on the backside.
Yeah, kind of similar.
What do you like about that call that sets up for you guys?
Well, I guess maybe because it's in Alvin Kamara's hands in space. How about that?
I asked John after the game, is there a situation where you don't feel comfortable with Alvin the ball in his hands and you just kind of like stop and you see it down the court?
Yeah.
Your comfort level with Alvin in any situation?
Listen, very comfortable. We from the very beginning, there was something unique about him. His ability to, absorb this offense, which can be very complex and can be a lot, especially for the running back position. And you kind of wondered, what positions we would be able to put him in, and gradually that playbook has just completely expanded to where, really any situation we would feel comfortable with him in the game. And Mark, for that matter, too. So it's great to have 2 guys like that that can complement one another and also be a 1-2 punch, and that you just feel that type of confidence in. Oh man, that was great.
Drew Brees speaking about Mark Ingram and mostly Alvin Kamara and his comfortability in the complex Saints offense. That's a mouthful from Drew Brees. Saying that, hey man, we feel good anytime we can get the ball in his hands in space. Good things are going to happen. He's one of those rare players that make things like that happen. He's a weapon. He knows how to find the end zone. He's a guy that's not only shifty, but he's very strong for his size. He breaks tackles. He breaks tackles and everything. I remember it was a run that he broke like 2 tackles in a run before somebody finally was able to bring him down. So he's a tough little guy, and the Saints feel real good. We keep him healthy. He leapfrogged the guy, ended up busting his lip. In an interview, he told the reporter. But Alvin Kamara is definitely, if he keeps this level of play up, stays healthy, which he will, that he's definitely all hands off the rookie of the year candidate. And that leads us right into our studs and duds segment.
If he stopped today, he better tear his ACL, because that's the only thing that could prevent him.
All I'm saying is that he has to complete. We still have more than a few games left to play. So if he could stay on course, what he's doing, I'm more than certain, definitely it's penciled in that he's there. He should win it. So let's move into the studs and duds segment of the show. Let's move into the studs and duds section of the show. All right, now let's talk about studs and duds here.
Let's get some tidbits. Come on.
Yeah, giblets. Let's talk about studs and duds here. All right. Well, look, we're gonna have to hold the studs and duds segment. We're about to go into our next break. Thanks a lot, DC. But anyway, when we come back on the style, we'll finally get to our studs and duds segment. We'll also cover DC's fan favorite, world famous injury report. We'll get into that as well. We'll have a few transaction reports to talk about. It's dealing to Devontae Harris. And we'll preview the Saints and Falcons game as well. And we'll give you a little information on LSU. They're eating oranges. That's a little hint for you. And we'll cover that and more on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Stay with us.
Forget ESPN or Fox.
Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
In today's world, children are bombarded with negativity on television, online, and at school. Our kids need to have a positive outlook on life and the world around them. I want to share with you a valuable resource you can use to bring positivity into your child's life. It's the new book, 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. This is a simple guide loaded with wonderful and inspirational affirmations designed to uplift young people's spirits. This positive and powerful children affirmational is chock full and loaded with wonderful inspirational sayings that will lift your child's self-image to whole new levels through the awesome power of spoken word. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad G.J. Barabino. Available on Amazon. Order a copy for yourself, your child's teachers, or anyone you know with children. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image. Order your copy today.
Thank you for listening to the Pro Media Network, who provides hours and hours of free edutainment to you and yours. If you are benefiting positively from our content, please donate to help us grow our platform by going to www.patreon.com/the Pro Media Network. That's www.patreon.com/the Pro Media Network, and support the true independent artists.
Check out the Crown They Ass World podcast with three kings covering all the news and issues that affect you and the ones you care about. Only on the PRO Media Network.
Hello, New Orleans. You're listening to the Sports Coma, your new #1 podcast on everything Saints, Pelicans, and a lot more. And now, here's your host, Big Q and the guys.
Welcome back to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Still covering the Saints. Good win over the Carolina Panthers, 31-21. We'll do a few segments, studs and duds. Our injury report, we'll play another interview or two. Then we'll head right into some of the transaction information. Well, we can get the transaction information to you right now. Devontae Harris, who was released after his shabby garbage play against I was trying not to, but thank you very much. Against the Los Angeles Rams that got him canned, waived, and ultimately promoted, was re-signed to the team 3 days later on the transaction wire. He is now on the practice squad where he should have been on from the beginning. So he's on the practice report, and Devontae Harris needs a lot of practice. So let's hope that he gets all the practice that he can use. And that's some of the information. But let's just smooth prove right into our little studs and duds segment. DC, a lot of stuff that we could talk about in this studs and duds, but I need one stud, one dud from the Carolina Saints matchup. Who you got?
I'm taking them this week. God doggone it. I ain't going to say the other word. Alvin Kamara, man.
Okay.
This guy winds up being a stud every week for like the past 4 or 5 weeks. But Alvin Kamara would be my stud, man. He came out in tremendous fashion with all the eyes on him this week. Everybody expecting to shut him down. Number 2, defense. Keep that in mind. And he went out with about 11, 12 touches. Business as usual. You know, it's amazing. And they aren't even force feeding him the ball. He's just making the most of the opportunities he gets. And it's mind-boggling to see, man. Nobody can stop this kid. They haven't figured him out. So he puts up another masterful performance. And I'm not even sure if he's breaking the sweat yet. And my dud would be Josh Hill, man. Come on, bro. We had a chance to embarrass Carolina. I know I said it was going to be 31-25, and it was 31-21. I'm 4 points off what I said. But I would have loved to see it be 45-10. And I just been wrong. And I think that momentum shift with giving up that fumble from Josh Hill kind of changed a lot, because I'm not even sure if Carolina got in the end zone, man, the way the game was looking. it just was very anemic for them. And I think that one touchdown they had, it would have probably been it. I don't think they would have got back in the end zone the way the Saints offense was playing.
Very good calls right there. I do like the Alvin Kamara call. I'm going to go with Mark Ingram on this one, though. I'm going to give Mark Ingram the credit. 14 carries, 85 yards. He had a touchdown, averaging 6 yards a carry. Had a 72-yard burst breaking free. He finished with 85 yards. He also had 6 catches. He led the game with 6 catches, 37 yards. He was targeted 7 times, so he was targeted 7 times, caught 6 of them. He had the longest one he had was 11, so 6 catches, 37 yards. Big up to Mark Ingram, who was my stud of the week, and also looking at it, stud of the game actually. And of course, my dud would have been Josh Hill. DC had got him, so I'm gonna have to call out Will Lutz, who did miss a field goal. He was 1 of 2. He had a 31-yarder, did miss another, what I would believe would be a chip shot for him to make, but he misses, so he'll get the dud. He don't get it very often, but being that they didn't have too many duds on his team, I have to be kind of honest with you. I have to give that one to Will Lutz. So let's move on. DC, give me your injury report. I know about Mark Ingram's toe. That was just something that was just revealed to me, that he has a toe injury. I don't know if it's going to stop him from participating in this Thursday's game against Atlanta. But what else do you have on injury-wise?
Well, first off, Andrews Pete and Mark Ingram. Andrews Pete had a groin injury. He didn't practice. I don't know how serious it is. I'm hoping maybe not that serious. He did finish the game, so but he does have a groin injury, and he didn't practice today with Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram's toe, I think he's been having problems with that toe, if I'm not mistaken, maybe the last couple of years. So it's probably just something where they're just being precautionary, giving him a little break. I mean, he's a vet. You don't really need to practice. At least not, but one time during the short week. Then we got our people who are all limited. These are people who could play but are still playing injured. You have Ken Crawley with his abdomen. P.J. Williams has a shoulder injury. Trey Henderson has a knee. A.J. Klein has a groin injury. Wow, we got 3 groin injuries. This is insane. Marcus Williams also has a groin injury. You have Marshawn Lattimore with that ankle. So that will be all our guys that's limited. And with the Atlanta Falcons, they had 2 players that didn't practice. They had that guard, Andy Leverett, I think I'm saying that right. Levitri, I'm sorry, with a tricep injury. And you have Eric Sherbeck with a back. Yeah, the back. And they had, Brian Poole, that cornerback, limited with a back injury. Oh, that's big. Desmond Trufant, he was limited. He's coming back from a concussion. He did practice. He had a full practice, so he's no longer limited. I'm sorry I said that wrong. He had a full practice. So Desmond Trufant is back. So can't guard me. Take on that challenge, because he's gonna be out there to play. Desmond Trufant is one of the good ones in the secondary. And last time we played them, I don't think he was out there, and they blew us out the building. So got a tough task against Atlanta with a short week of rest, but they got a short week of rest too, so it's even. And let's see what we can do with all these injured players.
Yes, very, very intriguing it is. But, like with the Atlanta matchup against Saints and Atlanta matching up, every year it's that matchup that is on another level that everybody wants to be a part of. It's one of those magical, legendary matchups of hatred between 2 cities that most of these injured players who can tape it up and go will go. So it's going to be.
2 cities don't hate each other. That's the funny thing, though.
No, I love Atlanta, the city.
Well, we're
don't
fine
get me wrong.
with each other.
But the football team, it's a healthy respect. How about that?
To the football, man, it's a thing. Not even a basketball game, man. We don't care. Just this football, man.
Yes. So this is the thing. Let's before we preview that game, because that's the next thing we're going to do. Let's hear Cam Jordan's thoughts here on the performance against Carolina.
The identity of what you guys are now.
I'm not here to describe an identity. I'm here to try and get better every week. I'm here to try and push our defense to get better every week. At the end of the day, we had opportunities for turnovers, but we're only going to improve from here. I think that our linebacker core is improving every week. I think that our defensive line is improving. We took a huge hit losing Alex Okafor, but at the same time, Sheldon Rankins moved from a 1 to the 3 out to the 6 I 9, and he's been efficient at everything that he does. So that's been a great bond for us. When we talk about our surgence of our D-line interior play, we talk about Tyler Davison, we talk about John, David Onyemata. These guys are really driving force right now.
The start of your 8-game win streak last time started with the Panthers. Trying to repeat this now, starting with the Panthers again?
8-game streak would take us where we want to go, right?
Where's that go?
Yeah, I mean, it would finish us in the right direction, I do believe. 8. What are we right now? What's our record right now?
9 or 10, ideally.
So we have to go 9, most likely.
Yeah.
9.
I was thinking 8 with a week 1 bye. No. Okay, I'm gunning for the best here, right?
9 with a bye. There's 5 left in the regular season.
Is that what we got left? No, we don't. Think about it. We got 4 left.
Yeah, you got 7 or 8.
4 left?
Yeah, you're right. He's not
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you're right. It'd be 8.
That'd be the Pro Bowl.
Get to the Super. Exactly.
9. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for the Super Bowl. We have big dreams and we're trying to fulfill them.
Does it feel like a while since you've been in games like this, December for the division?
I can remember, 4 years back, we were 7-8 and we played the Panthers. That was for a playoff spot.
Right. Cam Jordan
losing
filling in there, talking about things, having a little fun with the reporters, giving big shots to his teammates. That we just gave big shots out to David Onyemata, John Hughes III, Sheldon Rankins. He didn't mention Kakaha, but we know where you're going with that, and all of the defensive line help, giving shots out to the linebackers as well in this interview. And Cam Jordan definitely on a whole nother level. This was the year a lot of people said Cam Jordan would be on that level, including myself. For the Saints to take that next step, he had to literally be the man on that defense, and Cam has definitely fulfilled his role, and hopefully. And the funny part about it is Cam can get better. That's the really crazy part of it. He can get better than what he
still missing a lot of specialty pass rushing moves. But, man, he's so strong. He throws offensive linemen into the quarterback and gets sacks.
It doesn't, and he's always – the thing about Cam Jordan, he lives in the backfield. He lives back there by the quarterback. Now, they do escape him from time to time, but Cam Jordan is always back there. So it's just amazing. And I expect him to get at least 2 sacks this game against Atlanta. I'm going to call it early and say Cam's going to get 2 sacks on Matt Ryan in this game. I'm just going to tell you that right now, at least 2 sacks.
We need to get turnovers, like Cam said. we need to focus on those turnovers, man. Atlanta is a team. We know we're not going to hold them to a shutout. It'll be very difficult to do that. Not impossible, but difficult. We definitely need to force them into turning over the ball. So yes. I think that's one thing that Cam hit on that is definitely an area where we've been lacking off, man. If you can be honest, ever since Marshawn Lattimore has left the lineup, we haven't got more than maybe 1 turnover a game, if that.
Very excellent points, DC. Pungent as usual. Big ups to Chris Banjo, who did get a turnover, like Cam said, who stripped the guy on the special teams play, and that was big ups to him on that, getting that turnover for Saints and basically squashing that momentum that Carolina was trying to build in that game. So big ups. Let's segue into our next segment of the show. We're going to cover the New Orleans Saints Atlanta game. We're going to preview that game. Remember, it's on Channel 6, NBC. It's NBC. It's this Thursday, upcoming Thursday at 7:25 Central Time. Everybody that's a football fan in the nation is going to be following this game.
This is a playoff game.
This is definitely a playoff
Basically
game.
For Atlanta, this is a playoff game. The game Sunday, everybody was watching because that was a playoff game for us and Carolina. Because if we would have lost that game, Carolina would have superseded us for the NFC crown. So I'm not saying they would have won it out, but it's definitely a playoff type game, and it's going to have that type of atmosphere. It'll be a lot of fun Thursday.
It's the Saints world right now. Everybody's following the Saints. They're in commanding position. It's our world right now. And I'm just loving it. The Saints are in a commanding position, nothing like what it was last year when Atlanta had all the steam. So we're about to go into our third break. When we come back on the other side, hold your thought, DC will be back on the side. We're going to cover it, my friend. We're going to preview this game, break it down, give you our picks and predictions on this game, stats, and other information as well. And also on the other side of the segment of the show, we'll talk about LSU. Where are they going? LSU's going bowling. Where are they going? where they're going. We'll cover that as well. So stay with us and listen to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
I'm a Saints and Pelicans fan, so the only podcast I can get my fix is the Sports Coma with Big Q. The guy's intense, funny, and they always keep it real.
Check out the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
Clear, clean, great-tasting filtered water. We're all thirsty for it. But in the U.S. alone, an estimated 2.5 million plastic bottles are added to the environment each year in search of the perfect drink of water. There has to be a better solution, and there is. Crystal Quest, a leader in the manufacturing of water filtration technology, has been providing clean, drinkable water for 20 years. Crystal Quest has been recognized by such leaders as Consumers Digest, Dr. Oz, and Colin Ingram's The Water Drinking Book, offering our customers the cleanest and most environmental-friendly drinking water at a rating of high purity. With Crystal Quest's water filtration technology, you can rest assured that your water will be crystal clear. Contact our network of authorized distributors and join our thousands of satisfied customers.
Just log into theposhlifestyle.com. Once again, that is theposhlifestyle.com.
Get all the latest news and updates from your New Orleans Pelicans at the Pelicans Argue, the new and official Pelicans Daily Journal, covering everything Pelicans.
Attention, everyone.
Get breakdown on games, free agent signings, and potential moves. Unbiased opinions and straight up facts with statistical analysis from G Balance. Go to www.thesportsdaily.com/Pelicans-I-View.
Follow the Sports Coma on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Best funny sports podcast in the country.
Welcome back to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Last segment, man, we rocking in this joint. In this segment, we covering the Atlanta Falcons and Saints matchup this Thursday at 7:25 Central Time. Big game, playoff game, major implications, man. And this is the time of the year where we really love it, man, because the Saints showed improved, sitting up there at 9-3. 4-2 away, facing Atlanta 7-5, 3-3 at home, so they kind of half and half. They pretty much New Orleans Pelican style at home, 50-50 ball players. But we're going to get into it. DC already laid out the injury report on this game. Very interesting stats nonetheless. Matt Ryan is Matt Ryan. 260 out of 390, 3,057 yards. He has 16 touchdowns, only 8 interceptions on the year. Devontae Freeman, who's been banged up, just missed a couple of games prior to this matchup. He was under the concussion protocol. 128 carries, 589 yards, 5 touchdowns. The Saints have to wrangle that guy. Got to get him under control. That guy destroyed them the last time they played.
That's been something we haven't been able to do.
No,
since they drafted him.
That will be a major test. The Atlanta's Falcons running game is very dangerous. They have a very good balanced attack with Freeman. And then speaking of Julio Jones,
I wish we had Anzalone back, man. I think that was a guy that we drafted him to be able to take on a task.
Absolutely, absolutely. I wish I've heard Sean Payton said in some information that Anzalone might not be back. They're not expecting anybody to come back off the injured list, and I don't know how bad Anzalone's injury is, but from what Sean Payton is saying, he don't expect him to make a comeback to help the team this year. So that's sad. Hopefully, keep our fingers crossed that he can beat that timetable. Julio Jones, a top threat for the Atlanta Falcons right now, 68 receptions on a year for 1,063 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, if you preference that versus our best target, that's Mike Thomas, 75 catches. So Mike is outdoing him reception-wise. And Mike has 875 yards and 3 touchdowns, both of them 3 touchdowns. Mark Ingram, to me, carrying the ball for the Saints, 180 carries for 922 yards, a little bit 80-yard game will get Mark Ingram to his 1,000-yard season with three games left. This is by far Mark Ingram's best rushing season, 9 touchdowns. I would probably say he could be a Pro Bowl guy if anybody, if he could stay healthy and compete.
Mark Ingram is a Pro Bowl guy at this point right now. He has 8 touchdowns. He's the number 4
leading
rusher in the league. So I mean, how is he not in the Pro Bowl?
This is true, but he has to like I said, he has to continue this pace up, keep what he's doing, keep it going, stay healthy, and
if
he should be there.
If he eclipses 1,000 yards and gets maybe 12 touchdowns or so, he definitely should be in the Pro Bowl.
He should be.
And
we got 4 games left.
So should Alvin Kamara as well.
Right, absolutely. Drew Brees on the season right now, 291 to 407, 3298 is 3,298 yards passing, 7 touchdowns, 5 picks. Drew Brees, 5 interceptions on the year. Very low total for Drew Brees. Dare I say, with the next 4 games, Drew Brees can have a single-digit interception rate? Absolutely astounding. A lot of credit is not going to Drew Brees because Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram, Thomas, the defense, the special teams, everybody is shining, and Drew Brees is having a quiet an excellent year. Very, very, very profound year for Drew Brees. Let's get into this, DC. We're previewing this game. We already talked about the injuries. Saints averaging 29 points a game. Atlanta averaging 23. Okay. Points allowed a game. The Saints defense and the Atlanta defense allowed the same amount of points. 20.3 a game. Total offensive stats for the Saints, they average 417 yards a game total. Passing-wise, it's 275. Rushing-wise, it's 143 yards on the ground. For the Falcons, 375 yards total, 259 flat through the air, 115.6, 115.5 on the ground for the Falcons running game. Defense, this is the killing stat. The Saints allow 349 yards a game total defense. Through the air, they allow 236. On the ground, they allow 113. For the Falcons allow 341 a game. They allow you to throw 228 yards on them a game, and they allow you to rush 113.2, about 1 more yard more than what the Saints actually would allow you. So looking at it, those defenses statistically, DC, are pretty much the same. They're pretty much the same. I mean, defensively, if you look at the numbers, those defenses kind of mirror each other. They both can get after the quarterback. They both allowing the same amount of pass.
I don't think they mirror each other. I mean, the statistics are close.
Tack McKinley is an excellent player. You got Adrian Claiborne. Those guys, they can get to the Vic Beasley. You're saying they can't get to the quarterback?
No. I'm not saying that.
All right. Okay. Give me your breakdown on this.
They're 2 different teams on the defensive level. First off, I think they have a way more talented linebacking core than we do.
Yes.
Their linebackers are small, but they're very athletic.
Duke Riley, Deion Jones, yes.
Very fast linebackers. For one, Vic Beasley is a player that we don't have. The way in which he attacks the quarterback is not like Cam. He's quick. He's off the edge, and he's back there. Boom. Cam is more of a power rusher. He has quickness and great anticipation, and he gets into the backfield quickly, but he just does it different from Vic Beasley. And Tack McKinley, I don't think we have a player on our team that is Tack McKinley-esque.
Yes,
That guy is on the brink of being something special, and this is only the beginning for him. I think once he starts to get the game under him and a guy like Claiborne that also steals some playing time from him moves on, we'll see a whole different monster with that guy. So they have a very young defense, and their secondary is probably the only thing where I can say we look similar. After our amazing draft this year, we have a hitter, Von Bell, and they have Neal. We got Marshawn Lattimore, they got Desmond Trufant, and they have Alfred back there as a New Orleans native, and we got our safety, Williams, now. And they're similar. He gets a lot more picks, I think, than Williams at this point, but he's going to grow into a similar type player. And they're rounded off with a couple of filling guys that are very capable. So if any area I think we mirror each other, it's probably the secondary at this point, but everything else looks totally different to me on the defensive end.
With that said, I'm looking at how the Falcons, the last 5 games, I think it is. The last 5 games, the Falcons are 3-2. Despite the fact that they did reel off a 3-game winning streak against Dallas, Seattle, and Tampa Bay, then they lose a lackluster affair against Minnesota in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, 14-9. The Saints, of course, were 4-1 of the last 5, on that 9-game winning streak before it was snapped. 8-game winning streak before it was snapped by the Los Angeles Rams 26-20. They got back on it in a major way by beating Carolina, like the reporter said earlier, who the Saints started that 8-game winning streak against Carolina. Hopefully they could start another one, starting with Atlanta. They got Carolina, and to take care of 2 division rivals within the span of 5 or 6 days is a beautiful thing. Give me your predictions on this game. Let's get this game boxed up and shipped to the fans. Who wins this game and why? Quickly.
The Saints. The Saints win this game because Atlanta is not able to stop the run, and they aren't able to overcome their mental lapses in the late parts of games, critical moments in the games, due to the Saints having home field advantage as well, which I think will be a big thing. This week you're going to see a lot of taunts about them losing the Super Bowl, and I'm not sure if Atlanta is ready to be the type of team they have to be to come in and beat the Saints this week. It's more in their favor. Well, no, I got it backwards. They're playing in the Georgia Dome, so they're going to have the home field advantage. But I still don't think Atlanta is the type of team that is mentally ready to face a team like the Saints. So we have a team that's going to fight until the last whistle, man. And you see Atlanta they get lackadaisical at critical moments during the game, ending moments during the game. We've seen this since the Super Bowl. So they got a little mental problem there. And I think that's going to be enough to get us the edge. I see the Saints taking this one. We're gonna get our point total as usual. I'm gonna go 35. That's a stretch, hoping we get all touchdowns, but I say 35-28. I think Atlanta's going to be right there with us. I don't think we're going to shut them out, but I definitely see us winning this game.
I agree with you. I think the Saints are going to win this game because they have to. They can't allow a loss at this point to lose to Atlanta. Now, if they did lose to Atlanta, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Of course, they'll have to play them in the Superdome and beat their butts, but I think you could take care of them and really damage them pretty good with a win in their hometown. That'll be 2 back-to-back home losses, and they're not very good in there. So 27-21 would be my call on this game. Make your call, DC. We're gonna segue to Tiger talk in a second. Go ahead.
I made my call as 35-28, but I think if the Saints finish Atlanta out right now, I think that kills their season, and I think that significantly sets them back for next year. I think you'll see a team that maybe takes a year and a half or 2 years to get themselves back together in a way that Carolina did when they lost the Super Bowl, but extended amount of time.
Okay, interesting point.
That's my standpoint, and I'm just going because all that stuff is mental, and I think to have those letdowns and collapses like that, it's going to take a lot of humbling and building yourself back up to overcome.
I got you on that, my friend. Let's move to the Tiger talk. LSU, we've been kind of hitting you with this one all show long. LSU will face off in the Citrus Bowl against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Of course, LSU is 17. They're 17th ranked, 9-3. Notre Dame is 14th ranked, 9-3 to be in the Citrus Bowl. And this will be on New Year's Day at noon. Big game between LSU and Notre Dame. DC, what is your call on this game? Who wins it?
Oh, come on, man. You know gonna win this game, man. We playing prestigious, too good to play SEC opponents regularly. Notre Dame, man, they're not ready for it.
Okay, give me a score quickly. We're about to end our show.
Of LSU. All right.
Yes.
28-23.
28-23. Notre Dame could score 35 points a game. They allow 22 a game. LSU 28 a game. Allow 18 a game. So that's absolutely true. So it's being interesting to see. I do have LSU in this game as well. I think LSU will win this game. 28-24 matchup. It's going to be a kind of nip and tuck battle, but ultimately LSU will get a bowl win under Ed Orgeron. So big ups to LSU Tigers, finishing the season strong. Let's hope our boys in black and gold can do the same against the Atlanta Falcons. Thank you for listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. From DC and myself, we'd like to say thank you. And go and support our sponsors at www.thepashlifestyle.com and donate on www.patreon.com/The Pro Media Network. Peace.
You're listening to the PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment. You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
At The Posh Lifestyle, I go there for all my health needs. They offer great deals on organics, water filters, healing magnetics, healing crystals, clothing, books, DVDs, vitamins, and a lot more. They even have free shipping when you spend over $100 on most products. With secure online ordering, fast service, and great products, I save some money, and I'm improving my health doing it. It's a win-win. So do what I did. Go to shop.thepashlifestyle.com. That's shop.thepashlifestyle.com. That's shop.thepashlifestyle.com. So upgrade your lifestyle with The Posh Lifestyle and love what you do.